Good afternoon, everyone. Today is October 2nd, 2022. This video will be an outlook for the week of October 3rd to 7th, the RTH sessions. Globex, I believe, is opening in just a few hours, but we won't be too interested in that. Before we go into the weekly outlook, I just want to take a slightly higher time frame view just to get an idea where momentum is and what the general thesis is moving forward. We had made a balance area in June and July from about 37.24ish up to about 39.50. And you can see when we came back into it in September, we caught a bid, churned around the middle of it, right around 38.50ish. No exact number here. And then we sold off back into the 2022 low of the year at 36.39. And we balanced again, and notably, four times we tried to get back inside of this balance area, and four times we were unable to do so, even with a gap where volumes are thinner and we would expect an ability to get into it. I will consider this to be the primary scenario being that we're unable to accept back into this upper balance. So the move down, we're now looking, we're now in imbalance. In other words, we spent the majority of the week being balanced between the low of the year and this balance low. We spent that time churning, balancing here. We have now broken the lows and are imbalanced, and we're looking for the bid, and we can look left to find where that might be. Um, the first place being the September high. This ended up being quite a pivotal area, and there is a gap here at 88. This may be where we find a bid. 35.42ish is an auction POC. If you take the high to low of September, we spent the rest of the month and part of November auctioning inside of it. The auction from September may be where we find a bid, or we may be coming down to the pre-COVID all-time high. So where we find this bid is a little bit confusing, but the one thing that I will be saying with a bit of decisiveness is that I doubt we get above these highs this week, and instead I'll be looking for the highs to likely be capped between roughly the earlier low of the year from 36.39 up to about 36.76, where we caught a nice bid on Friday. So let's go into a little bit more detailed of a chart. Here we go. News-wise, most of the news is just data. Not saying it's unimportant, but we do not have much Fed speak, just 9:15 Mester. Other than that, most of it's data pre-market, some of it coming at 10 o'clock Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So again, the pivot on the week will be 52.5. That is the 2021 low of the year, as well as the weekly POC, up to about 76, where we caught that bid on Friday, 74 being the weekly halfback as well. There are numerous September weekly structural levels, September structural levels, and quarterly structural levels in this area, as well as yearly levels. However, I'm kind of thinking of it as one fat zone, 0950 being where we put in significant volumes, 2375 kind of being the lows of this balance area from back in June and July, and 44 quarter being the yearly close from 2022, as well as where we saw some resistance on Thursday's session, or sorry, Wednesday's session. So I will be looking for this to be the area that sellers likely hold, and we make a push further down. There isn't too much to discuss beyond that. This is a little bit short for a weekly video. However, we are in a state of imbalance, and it's difficult to be able to detail whether we catch a bid down at 42 and move up to the pivot, or whether it takes a little bit longer and we go down to 12 and then we catch the bounce, or if we come down into these areas that are near the pre-COVID all-time high. But in other words, as long as we're trading below this weekly POC and weekly halfback, as well as critical balance lows from earlier in the year, and really as long as we're trading below this 37.44 area, it is hard to be bullish on the weekly outlook. So I will be looking for a sell overall, perhaps down to 35.12ish. If we do come down to 34.34, we likely visit the pre-COVID all-time high. That's all I really have for the weekly outlook. Day to day, there may be some more details, but I would caution sizing up or trading aggressively this week, as we are creating new lows on the year. We are in a state of imbalance, very different than last week where we were simply balancing in a range. We are in imbalance. We're creating new lows on the year. There's quite a bit of macro conditions that may cause intraday trading to be a little bit difficult. I hope that helps. If there are any updates to this plan, I will be posting it to Twitter. The link to that is in the bio. But other than that, that's all from me.